Hope you're ready to climb some rocks, or perhaps Mount Komorebi. It's worth it for the virtual view and cave woohoo, I assure you. Alas, we're going to look at how to reach the peak of Mount Komorebi and pay the rock climbing skill a pretty close visit too. Let's put on our hot girl or hot boy climbing gear and get started. Now before we climb Mount Komorebi, you're going to need to level up your climbing skill. At minimum, you'll need to be level 6 rock climbing, but to get gold on your mountain expedition, you'll need to have level 9. Personally, I do suggest going all the way and getting level 10 to make your life easier. To get started rock climbing, you'll want to practice on the small wall. This is located near the 511 Kiyomatsu lot in the Yukimatsu neighborhood. Then get started practicing and train until you're level 3 of the skill. Note that the ideal mood for rock climbing is focus, but that you'll also train the fitness skill at the same time, in which the ideal mood for is energized. At level 3, you'll unlock the ability to complete pre-climb stretches. These will give you a focused moodlet, and being in a focused state will make training the skill around 35% faster, while being very focused will make this around 60% faster. At level 3, you can attempt to climb medium walls, but you'll also have noticed that as soon as you started training the skill and reached level 1, that you got a pop-up about climbing gear, which you can now use a computer to purchase for 450 simoleons. Climbing gear can be equipped from your inventory and will increase the success chance of your climbs. It's very handy to have, but will degrade over time. When unequipped, you can repeatedly repair this every now and again, with there being a cooldown. But I found the repairs to do very little. Now, as wasteful as this may sound, I suggest accepting the fact that using gear comes at a cost and throwing it away and repurchasing it as required. Let's get back to training our rock climbing skill. There are 2 medium walls that you can do this at once you hit level 3. One is located at the Senbamachi neighborhood and the other in Yukimatsu, all the way at the top behind the skiing and snowboarding slopes. Personally, I prefer the one in Senbamachi for a change of the snowy scenery. Now you'll want to keep practicing your rock climbing skills through continual rock climbing sessions. At level 4, you can chalk your hands to help increase your climbing success. As a side note for training, if you have the Get Together expansion pack, it can also be worth creating a rock climbing club and buying the rock climbing boost skill bonus. This will mean that you train the skill 100% faster while in an active club gathering, so you'll level twice the normal rate. If you don't have this, then just aim to have your sim focused or very focused as they climb. At level 5, you'll unlock the nifty looking climbing suit, and at 6 you can climb tall climbing walls, meaning that you can technically now take on climbing Mount Komorebi, but I suggest to keep training if you want that gold on your expedition. At level 7 rock climbing, you'll gain the ability to make energy bars, which can be crafted from your inventory using 1 apple and 1 cherry. These can be crafted through the rock climbing options on your sim, and then eaten from your inventory. They'll restore a large chunk of hunger and a bit of energy too, so they're great to have on your expedition. Note, they have a cooldown and you can only make one every 6 hours. At level 9, you can make protein bars, which require 1 blackberry and 1 strawberry. Now, protein bars only raise hunger, but they have a unique cooldown to that of energy bars. At level 9, you can also climb the tallest wall courageously, which will come in handy for reaching gold on our way to the top of Mount Komorebi. Train that final level to 10 and ensure you either have the ingredients to make an energy bar or a protein bar in your inventory, as well as some good quality climbing gear, and it's time to head up the mountain. To do this, use your phone to plan a social event and then select Mountain Climb Excursion. You'll need at least 1 excursion leader and at least 1 and up to a maximum of 3 additional members. Start your event and your group will kick things off in stage 1 of the excursion, starting at the Sutafani Onsen bathhouse in Yukimatsu. Note that there are 4 stages, and for each you simply need to have all members reach the trail map marker, which will see you given the option to progress to the next stage. If you want a gold rating, then you'll have to complete all side tasks too. In stage 1, this simply involves warm-up tasks and checking on gear, which takes no time at all. You'll then want to have your group head up the ski lift and climb to the medium wall behind it to reach the second marker leading to stage 2. Note that as your sims form a group, you can easily use your leader to have the whole group travel to certain points together, such as the marker to progress. Also note that the rock climbing skill level of random sims from other households is irrelevant, and additional members not in your household will always succeed in climbing their way up walls. So invite who you want without fearing they'll drag you down or fearing they'll die. You know, live your best life with your best friends. Stage 2 is quite simple as well. The main additional tasks are to inspect your climbing route before you climb it, which is an option on the medium rock wall you must scale in this phase. There's also a random tent in the area, and you'll want to have a sim stop off for a quick sleep or nap lasting at least an hour before progressing. Then have your members scale the wall and reach the trail marker, and you're on to stage 3. In this stage, one additional task is to light a bonfire, and there is an unlit one at the base of the tall climbing wall. Another task is to confidently climb the tall wall, and for this option to become available, you'll need at least level 9 in the rock climbing skill. Finally, you'll need to have a sim eat something, which is where the energy or protein bars come into play. You can make one on the spot and eat it, or eat a ready-made one to tick this off. Now, once you climb the wall, before the marker, you'll notice a cave. On some expeditions, it'll be closed, but on others, it's explorable. These can give a range of random scenarios and moodlets. It's really just a bit of fun. The main feature, however, is that you can also woohoo in the cave. And you know, you only live once, so let your sims live their best lives going for it in the cave. Now the marker to move on is just a little beyond the cave. And note the timer here. There is a timer for each stage, but specifically, the cave can see you get sidetracked and lose track of time, and if the timer ends, then you'll fail the expedition, so make sure that you move on before that happens. And reaching this marker will see you then reach the peak and successfully the top of Mount Komorebi. Here, you'll have unlimited time to hang out and unwind at. The main draw card is the view. There's also a second cave at the Mount Komorebi peak. But there's also an editable lot, meaning you can build and make whatever you like. I put together a quick camping ground with an onsen, but I can see a top of mountain cabin being really cool too. Whatever you do is up to you. Enjoy it, go wild. So that's the main things you need to know in order to reach the top of Mount Komorebi. But just some quick tips to finish up. The first is that your expedition leader will earn reward traits during their expedition. Reaching the third stage will see them gain a capable mountaineer trait, which will improve their odds while rock climbing, among other outdoor activities. If your sim reaches the peak, then this trait is upgraded to being an expert mountaineer. This is largely the same, but slightly better. Near the small climbing walls, there's also a little notice board, and you can check the conditions on Mount Komorebi on here, so you know they'll be good before you climb. Sentiments can also be earned between groups. While they can be positive, failing an expedition can also see sims left with negative sentiments pop up. Next is that if your sim falls and injures themselves climbing, avoid having them climb again until the debuff is gone, as a second fall while the debuff is active can lead to death. Generally, if you have your sims climb routes cautiously, you shouldn't encounter this too often. There are a few other ways to train the rock climbing skill, being by reading rock climbing skill books, and if you have the fitness stuff pack, then climbing the top hits rock climbing wall will train the skill too. After successfully completing the expedition, you'll gain a unique displayable plaque, and this has an option on it whereby your sims can remember the view. For gold, this will leave sims with a +3 confident moodlet that lasts for 8 hours, so it's a rather powerful source of the confident emotion. Finally, just have fun with it, as it's a really fun part of the game to explore. Alas, that's a guide to reaching the peak of Mount Komorebi and the rock climbing skill too. If you enjoyed or found that helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later.